Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of Classic Gamer 74. I am your host, Anthony Ventrilo, and I'm Larry the Lion. And today we're going to talk about one of the most iconic video games ever released, that being Donkey Kong, from 1981 by Nintendo. The game was created by Shigeru Miyamoto, who also would later go on to create Legend of Zelda, and this would be the first appearance of the iconic character Mario. This was also considered the earliest video game with a storyline, that damsel in distress thing, and it was considered the first platform game. The storyline behind the game is simple. Mario's girlfriend Pauline has been abducted by Donkey Kong, who has fallen in love with her, and Mario must get her back. The creators of this game drew on several different inspirations, such as Popeye, Beauty and the Beast, and even King Kong. The game itself was a major success. In its second year, it actually made $280 million, and overall, it's made $754 million, and was the first video game to receive a 5-star rating. Donkey Kong has gone down in history as being the only game to have been ported to every single game system or computer system ever made. Alright, so let's get into the game. Alright, let's go get Pauline from that big ugly ape. Yeah, you said it. Although, to be honest with you, if he took my wife, I'd let him keep her. You're terrible. How about you? Oh no, I would have to go after my wife. And in fact, actually, I think that she'd be that Donkey Kong would be the one I'd have to go save. My wife would probably beat the crap out of him. Yeah, you got a point there. So would my wife. Yeah. Anyway, you see how you're jumping over the barrels. Well, you got to really have your reflexes ready for this one. Alright, that's level 1, and of course he runs off with her. Now this one's a little different. You're not really jumping over the barrels. What you're doing is trying to get rid of these rivets that are holding this whole thing together. Because there's not a ladder up there to go get her. And you sure as heck don't want to touch Donkey Kong, so get rid of walking over the rivets, makes them go away. And watch out for those living fireballs. That's about the best way I can describe them. And of course, I'm using the hammer. I didn't use it in the other one in level 1, because really in level 1 it's just get to the top and get it, get the level over with, because he starts chucking those barrels so fast it's almost impossible to keep up with him. So it's just get the level done and get it over with. Yeah, that dumb fireball won't get out of the way. Alright, there we go. One more to go. Run, run, run. Get it, get it, get it. Well, did it. Great, you gotta replay level 1 again. Yeah, but in this one it's even faster. Like it wasn't fast enough the first time you played it. Now, one thing I'll point out is that depending on where you play Donkey Kong throughout the world, the levels are actually in a different sequence. In Japan, you would see these things going a lot differently. I believe the levels are actually more sequential, as to where you don't have to replay level 1 in order to get through the 4 different levels. Okay, there we got Pauline again, and then he runs off with her again. Jerk. Alright, here comes level 3. Boy, this one's fun. Oh yeah. I mean, as a kid, it took me forever to get past this one. Yeah, you and me both. Well, to be honest, I never did get past it. Yeah, especially that part right there. If you jump too soon. I mean, as Mario, you would see, like, in the later games in Super Mario, I mean, the guy jumps off everything. I mean, jumps out through the sky, goes, you'd think that a steep jump wouldn't kill him, but in this one it does. Yeah, he probably got a little tougher in the later games. Well, obviously. And you made it. Good job. Alright, it's time for the last level, and this one is called the Pie level. Most people never make it this far. Whew, man. Oh, them conveyor belts are a pain. Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely. This has got to be probably the hardest level in the game, period. Well, I don't know. I believe it or not, I had more trouble with the last level that we just passed than I did with this one. You ever notice, too, that you never see Pauline ever again? Yeah, you got a point there. I mean, in later games, the damsel in distress is Princess Toadstool, but you never do see Pauline ever again. And there we did it. With the game being successful, of course, it had to be ported out to the home consoles, and that was done by Coleco. Now, the problem is that Coleco's version of the game for their own console was actually much better and closer to the arcade than the versions that they ported out to Intellivision and the Atari 2600. So let's check them out and see what you think. Alright, so let's get started with the ColecoVision version. Boy, that was a mouthful. Yeah, you said it. Did you have a ColecoVision when you were a kid? No. How about you? No, I had the Atari 2600, obviously. Wow, yeah, you can see it does follow it pretty close. I mean, about as close as you're going to get with a home console from that time, even though they did kind of reverse it. I mean, that Donkey Kong's on the right, and in the video game that was on the left, but, still. Also, you don't see as many barrels falling as you do in the arcade, but still, it's not a bad port. Boy, you hold on. Oh, I was gonna say you hold on to that hammer forever. Yeah. Like I said, not a bad port at all, but I'll tell you, I really never have liked the ColecoVision's controls. I always thought they were a little too clunky as compared to the fluidity. Oh, see, look at that. Didn't even get that sequence of the heart and then Donkey Kong taking off with her, so. But like I said, I never, ever liked the ColecoVision controllers. I always thought they were too clunky and just not as fluid as the Atari 2600 controllers. But to be honest with you, I did not dislike them as much as I disliked the Intellivision controllers. So, I mean, granted, the graphics were not the best on the Atari 2600 compared to the Coleco, but you could not beat the controls. Yeah, and this one too, you can see it's a little smaller. Oh, jumped right on the damn thing. Yeah, the level's a lot smaller too. I believe there were about 4 or even 5 platforms in the arcade, so. You almost bit it there again. Yeah, and it doesn't have that cool animation when you destroy things like in the arcade. As a kid, I always kind of wonder what happened when you touch Donkey Kong. Yeah, you automatically die. You can't touch him. Oh, okay. It's too bad they don't have one of the hammers on that level you could actually go after with it. Alright, one more to go. Alright, now this level. Oh boy. Yeah, this one, it's almost impossible to pass it with the Coleco controls. Alright, so let's check out the Intellivision version. Oh man, that's bad. Yeah, but at least you can kind of get an idea. I mean, you see the animation of Donkey Kong, rolling the barrels, and yeah, I think that's Mario. Yeah, I mean, when the game was first created, wasn't the guy's name Jumpman? Exactly, yeah. I mean, the Mario name didn't come in until a little bit later on. Same thing with Pauline. Initially, she was just called Lady. Oh man. Yep. I mean, there's definitely some validity to the claim that, Coleco was trying to make their version of the game for their system better. Whoops. than every other console at the time. Again, you're looking at the Intellivision version and the version that was also ported out to the Magnavox Odyssey 2. And here's the version that I owned as a kid, the Atari 2600 version. I remember getting this for Christmas in 1982 and just playing the game like crazy. So here it is. Okay, here we go again. This is a 2600 version. Now, compared to the ColecoVision version, yeah, it wasn't the best. But you know what? Honestly, I didn't care. I had hours of fun playing this game. The controls were fluid, so, hey, I didn't really care. And like I said, I honestly didn't play the ColecoVision version for many, many years because I didn't own a ColecoVision. Most of my friends didn't. Just a couple other friends, did. But, honestly, I prefer the 2600 version. I had a blast playing the game, and I would gladly, do it again. If I could go back in time, I would gladly get the Atari 2600 version as opposed to either of those versions that you just saw. But that's just me. Well, I gotta agree with you. I mean, I personally have always been a Atari 2600 fan myself. And like I said, you can't beat the controls. Definitely. That was one thing that Coleco and Intellivision both lost me on was the controls. The controls were terrible. Graphics may have been good in the Coleco, but the controls were terrible. Couldn't have said it better myself, definitely. In those early systems, I would honestly have to say I thought one of the best ported versions had to be on the Atari 8-bit computer. So let's check that out. Oh yeah, I like that. This is definitely pretty cool. And I'll say one thing though, those barrels go real fast in this version. Oh man, you're not kidding. Yeah, tell me about it. Kind of sort of has that ending sequence, but not exactly like the arcade. Now that's one thing I like about this version, though. You actually, Donkey Kong is like stomping around, like he's frustrated, like, come and get this guy that's, get rid of this guy, I want to keep the girl for myself, and, I stole her fair and square. Hey, you can kind of relate to that a little bit, can't you? Yeah. I'm not gonna elaborate on that. Oh, almost touched Mario right there. I almost touched Donkey Kong. Gotta be careful. Don't want to do that. Come on. Get out of the way. Alright, one more. There, we got it. Donkey Kong would be the only game that would ever be ported out to every single game system in existence. Well, that concludes this episode of Classic Gamer 74. I hope you all enjoyed it. And hold on a minute, you forgot something. What did I forget? You were going to share the hack with them. The hack. Oh, the hack. You're right. Okay, now, Donkey Kong, the game is simple, right? You have the damsel in distress, the poor helpless girl that has been kidnapped, and the hero, the man Mario, has to go rescue her. But what would happen if those roles were reversed? I think you ladies will like this hack that I recently discovered online. Check it out. I haven't seen this yet, so you have to tell me about it. Oh, I think you're going to like it. Hey, is that Mario up there? Yep, it sure is. Oh, wow, you play as Pauline. That is cool. Yeah, definitely. One of the problems with video games from that time period was that they didn't market them towards women a lot, women and girls, which, I think they lost out on a lot of potential gamers because they didn't market, games that way. At least I didn't think they did. So something like this would have been great for that time period. As a father myself, I have a a daughter who is a gamer, and she would have definitely gotten a kick out of this if she'd been around back in the day. As a matter of fact, I gotta show this to her and see what she thinks, because she is, also a classic gamer, but she likes the new stuff too. Yeah, to be honest with you, if I was kidnapped by Donkey Kong, I would like my wife to come save me. Yeah. If I was kidnapped by Donkey Kong, I'd like your wife to come save me too. Yeah, because if it was my wife, she would just go and beat the crap out of Donkey Kong, and wouldn't have to worry about me being safe, because there wouldn't be any levels. She would just find Donkey Kong and beat the crap out of him and save me that way, so there would be no game. That's a hot one. I'm not kidding. Oh yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode of Classic Gamer 74. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to play Donkey Kong yourself and some of the other versions of the game, head over to muparadise.me, and of course, as always, AtariAge.com for all your Atari and emulation needs. Until next time, this is Anthony Ventrilo for Larry the Lion, saying good night and have a blessed day. See you all soon.